What if the reality you're living isn't as fixed or predetermined as you've been led to believe? What if, based on scientific principles from quantum physics, your consciousness could actually shape the world around you and attract the abundance you've been longing for? I know this might sound like fantasy to some, almost like an empty promise. Since childhood, we've been taught that the world is a solid, predictable place where things simply are. That our lives are the result of luck, blind effort, or external circumstances. We've been convinced that scarcity is an unchangeable reality, that money is limited and hard to come by, and that prosperity is a privilege reserved for the lucky few. And so, without realizing it, we've bought into an idea about reality that has kept us imprisoned. The invisible error that keeps you stuck. The invisible mistake so many people make is precisely this: believing deeply and unconsciously that we are mere spectators of our lives, not co-creators. We believe the outside world dictates what's possible, when in truth it's our inner world that's projecting what we see. We strive, we struggle, we worry, we try to control the external. But we rarely stop to look at the true root of the problem, how we're interacting from our consciousness with the field of infinite possibilities that surrounds us, that disconnection between what we long for and what we manifest, that nostalgia of the soul telling you there's something more. As the echo of a profound truth we've forgotten. If you feel that resonance, if there's a part of you that knows life has a greater purpose, if you're seeking answers that touch your heart and allow you to truly inhabit yourself, then you've arrived at the right place. Because in this space, we're going to explore together those bridges between the invisible and the concrete, between cutting-edge science and ancient wisdom, so you can finally access that reality. Belongs to you. Subscribe right now and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of the upcoming explorations that will transform the way you see the world, and with it, your life. We've misunderstood the nature of reality. The truth is, we've misunderstood the nature of reality. We've believed it's something already made, finished, and that we can only adapt to it. But the new vision I'm proposing, backed by the most cutting-edge science, is radically different and profoundly liberating. Reality is not something solid and immutable, but a field of infinite possibilities waiting to be shaped by your consciousness. Think about it. Imagine your life not as a path already traced, but as a gigantic library full of books, each with a different version of your future. And your consciousness, your thoughts, your emotions, is the key that allows you to choose which book you're going to read, and with it, which story you're going to live. This isn't a poetic metaphor. It's a truth that's beginning to unveil itself in quantum physics laboratories. The key to unlocking the abundance, purpose, and healing you so deeply. Desire isn't in forcing the exterior, but in learning to interact consciously with that field of possibilities that has always been there, waiting for your direction. If you feel stuck, if prosperity seems elusive, or if life disconnects you from your essence, it's because unknowingly you're tuning into a frequency of scarcity or limitation, when the entire universe is vibrating with a symphony of possibilities. What prevents you from accessing that other thing you know exists isn't a lack of effort or worthiness, but a lack of deep understanding about how your own consciousness operates in creating your reality. When you master this interaction, when you learn to align your thoughts, emotions, and intentions with what you truly desire, you'll realize you don't need to create abundance. You simply need to allow it to manifest from the vast field of the possible. And that, dear sensitive soul, is the key to inhabiting yourself again and feeling that your life has a deep and true meaning. The double-slit experiment, understanding how observation creates reality. To understand how this works, let's think for a moment about something quantum physics has revealed to us, something that at first glance may seem strange, but is profoundly revealing. The double-slit experiment. Imagine we have particles of light or even electrons, and we shoot them toward a screen with two small holes, two slits. Logically, the particles should pass through one slit or the other and leave two marks on the back wall, right? But what happens is absolutely astonishing. If we don't observe them, if we don't put a measuring device, the electrons behave like waves. They spread out and create an interference pattern, as if they had passed through both slits simultaneously, as if they were an extended possibility, a superposition of potential realities existing all at once. But here comes the most impactful part. The moment we decide to observe which slit they pass through, the instant we place a detector, those waves of possibility collapse. Suddenly, the electrons stop being waves and behave like individual particles, passing through only one of the slits. It's as if the act of observation, of focused attention, transformed possibility into concrete reality. The mere act of looking, of measuring, of paying attention changes the fundamental nature of what we're observing. This is known as the observer effect, and it tells us something fundamental. In the quantum realm, reality is not predetermined. It's consciousness observation that solidifies it. The universe at its most fundamental level exists in a state of infinite potential until the moment a conscious observer interacts with it. Connecting quantum physics to your abundance now, how does this connect to your life and the abundance you desire? This is where it gets truly exciting and deeply practical. Think of it this way. The universe is like that vast quantum field full of infinite possibilities for you. Imagine that each of those possibilities, financial abundance, vibrant health, loving relationships, a clear and fulfilling purpose, exists as waves of superimposed energy waiting to be observed, waiting for your consciousness to interact with them. While there's no conscious observer, all those possibilities exist in a state of superposition, undefined, latent, simultaneously real and unreal. It's like having access to every channel on television, but until you tune in and select one, you're not experiencing any particular program. But when you, with your consciousness, with your thoughts, emotions and intentions, focus on one of those possibilities, when you observe it with sustained attention and feeling, it's as if you placed that quantum detector. Your consciousness acts as the measuring device that collapses the wave function. Your consciousness, when united with elevated emotion, collapses that wave of probability and brings it into existence in your physical reality. This isn't wishful thinking or positive thinking in the traditional sense. It's an actual energetic transaction happening at the quantum level. Elevated emotions like gratitude, joy, confidence, love, these aren't just pleasant feelings that make us feel good temporarily. They're the most potent vibration we have to tune into the frequency of what we desire. They're the magnetic fuel that accelerates this manifestation process. Think of emotions as the language your body speaks to the quantum field. When you feel gratitude for abundance you haven't yet physically received, you're sending a clear electromagnetic signal into the field. Your heart generates an electromagnetic field that extends several feet beyond your body. And this field carries information, the information of your emotional state. That's why it's not about superficially wanting something, repeating affirmations you don't believe, or creating vision boards while feeling empty inside. It's about feeling that you already have it, living it internally with such profound conviction that your entire being, your thoughts, emotions, body chemistry, and electromagnetic field aligns with that desired reality. Your neurons fire and wire together in new patterns. Your body begins producing different neurochemicals. Your electromagnetic field expands and changes its signature, and you send a clear, coherent signal to the quantum field. You're not asking, you're tuning in. You're not chasing, you're attracting. You're not begging the universe. You're commanding your reality through the power of focused consciousness combined with elevated emotion. And this principle isn't mystical mumbo-jumbo. It's a practical application of what science is beginning to unravel. It's biology and physics working in concert, so you can become a conscious co-creator of your own destiny rather than a victim of circumstance. Let it settle. Think about it. Feel into the possibility that you've had this power all along, but simply didn't know how to access it or direct it intentionally. The actions that actually keep you stuck in scarcity. Now that we understand how consciousness shapes reality, it's crucial to realize that many of the actions we believe are correct for achieving abundance are actually doing the opposite. In fact, they're reinforcing the very pattern we're trying to escape. We've been taught to fight for what we want, to work tirelessly from a place of lack, to save with fear of the future, to constantly worry about what's missing. We've been conditioned to believe that struggle equals worthiness, that if we're not exhausted, we're not trying hard enough. And that's where, without knowing it, we're perpetuating the very problem we're trying to solve. When you spend your day thinking about what you don't have, when your internal conversation centers on debts, lack of opportunities, or fear of losing the little you have. What do you think you're observing with your consciousness? Exactly. You're placing your quantum detector on scarcity. You're collapsing that possibility over and over and over again. Every thought about lack, every worry about not having enough, every conversation about how hard things are, these are all observations that collapse the quantum field into more of the same. You work harder, but from an energy of lack. You wake up early but with worry as your motor. You try to be positive, but deep down an ingrained belief of it's not enough, or I'm not capable, or money is hard to come by keeps operating in your subconscious, broadcasting that frequency into the field 24/7. It's like wanting to go north but continuing to row south, or trying to fill a glass that has a hole in the bottom. The effort is real, the exhaustion is real, but the results don't match because the underlying energetic signature is misaligned. What's the point of striving to generate more money if your vibrational energy, your dominant thoughts and your deepest beliefs are constantly reaffirming scarcity? It's like trying to tune into a radio station at 98.5 FM while your dial is stuck on Windows 1.3 FM. You can want it all you want, but you're simply not on the right frequency. Many people fall into the trap of massive action without first aligning their inner world. They launch into 1,000 projects, read endless self-help books, attend seminar after seminar, follow external advice from every guru they can find. But if the root of their mental programming remains anchored in fear or limitation, if their subconscious beliefs contradict their conscious desires, those efforts, however noble and well-intentioned, will end up generating the opposite effect. They'll actually reinforce the belief that it's difficult, or it doesn't work for me, or I'm just not one of the lucky ones. And with that, your field of possibilities will continue presenting the same reality that disconnects you so much from your essence. It's a vicious circle that keeps you trapped on the autopilot of lack, running the same program over and over, expecting different results but getting the same outcome, because the fundamental operating system hasn't changed. And I'll tell you something more, something crucial. The universe always gives you more of what you focus on. If you focus on lack, that's what you'll see manifested. If you focus on problems, you'll find more problems. Not because the universe is punishing you, but because you're literally observing those possibilities into existence through your sustained attention and emotional investment. You are not broken. You've simply been using the wrong instructions. If you feel identified with what I've just described, if you recognize yourself in this pattern, I want you to know something fundamental, something I need you to really hear and take in. The problem isn't your lack of effort or your lack of worth, much less that the universe is punishing you or that you've done something wrong to deserve struggle. It's not that you're bad at manifesting, or that you're not trying hard enough, or that you're somehow broken or defective. Absolutely not. The problem, in essence, is that we've been applying a strategy misaligned with the true laws that govern the creation of our reality. It's like trying to turn on a light with a TV remote control. No matter how hard you try, no matter how many times you press the buttons, no matter how much you believe it should work, it won't. Not because the remote doesn't have power, not because you're doing it wrong, but because it's simply not the right tool for that specific function. You've been given the wrong instruction manual for reality, and that's not your fault. I completely validate that frustration you feel, that bone-deep exhaustion from fighting against an invisible current, that existential void that whispers to you that there must be something more, something you're missing. That sensation is actually a signal, not a defect. It's not evidence that you're broken, it's evidence that you're aware. It's your own inner wisdom clamoring for a different way of doing things. It's your soul reminding you that there's another possible path, one that doesn't involve more sacrifice or more effort from a place of lack, but rather a profound alignment with your inherent power. Imagine for a moment that abundance isn't something you have to go out there and capture, fight for, or earn through suffering. Imagine that it's something that already exists within you as a potential, as a frequency you only need to learn to tune into and sustain. The key isn't working hard to earn money, it's transforming your internal state to become a magnet for abundance. It's not about controlling circumstances through force of will, it's about directing your consciousness intentionally, and learning to sustain elevated emotional states. This shift in perspective, this reframe, not only frees you from guilt and self-judgment, but opens a door to immense possibility. Because when you stop fighting against the external world and begin co-creating from your interior world, when you stop trying to manipulate outcomes and start aligning with frequencies, the relief is profound, and what seemed like magic becomes everyday reality. A moment of deep reflection and self-inquiry. Now that we've unveiled this truth, now that you understand the mechanism, I want to invite you to stop for an instant. Pause the video if you need to. Close your eyes if you feel called to, and simply breathe. Just breathe and be present. Allow these words to resonate in the deepest part of your being. Don't just intellectually understand them, feel them. Let them sink into your body, into your heart, into your cellular memory. If reality is a field of possibilities that your consciousness observes and collapses, if your thoughts and emotions are the magnet that attracts what you focus on, then what story have you been telling about yourself and your capacity for abundance? What story have you been telling about money? About worthiness? About what's possible for someone like you? And what dominant emotion have you been feeling about it? Has it been excitement and anticipation, or has it been worry and fear? Has it been trust and certainty, or has it been doubt and anxiety? You don't need an immediate answer. This isn't a test. Just allow the question to settle inside you. Let it percolate. Feel what arises without judgment. Is there some silent belief, some hidden fear, that without realizing it has been steering the helm of your life on autopilot? Some story you inherited from your parents, your culture, your past experiences that says, people like us don't get to have that, or money is the root of all evil, or I'm not smart enough, connected enough, talented enough. This is an exercise in radical honesty with yourself, in deep compassion, because only by seeing what's operating in the shadow, only by bringing the unconscious into consciousness, can you bring it to the light and transform it. Give yourself full permission to feel that nostalgia of the soul, that subtle disconnection between who you are and who you know you're meant to be. Feel the gap between where you are and where you sense you could be. It's not a pleasant feeling, I know, but it's actually sacred. It's the first step to inhabiting yourself again, to coming home to your true power. The practical path. 4 daily practices to reprogram your reality now. The big question becomes practical. How do we move from understanding this intellectually to applying it in our daily lives to actually manifest the abundance we desire? How do we bridge the gap between concept and experience? It's not about complicated actions or elaborate rituals that take hours. It's not about perfection. It's about the coherent repetition of simple gestures that, over time, through consistency and genuine feeling, reconfigure your inner world and therefore your external reality. Think of this as a daily practice to reprogram your subconscious mind, to retrain your nervous system, to recalibrate your electromagnetic field. These are the 4 pillars. First pillar, conscious self-observation. Every single time you find yourself thinking about scarcity, about what you lack, about difficulties, about problems, stop. Just stop. Notice it. Catch yourself in the act without judgment, just with the simple intention of recognizing that pattern. This is crucial. Don't beat yourself up for having the thought. Don't add a layer of shame or guilt. Just notice. Oh, there's that scarcity thought again. Interesting. And then, and this is where the power is, consciously choose a thought that brings you closer to abundance. Redirect your focus deliberately. It's like redirecting a ray of light from shadow to possibility. From I don't have enough to I am learning to create more. From it's so hard to I am discovering easier ways. From why does this always happen to me? To what is this teaching me? What's the opportunity here? This practice builds your awareness muscle. At first, you might catch yourself hours after the scarcity thought, then minutes after. Eventually, you'll catch yourself in real time. And finally, the new thought pattern becomes automatic. That's neuroplasticity in action. Second pillar, daily and deeply felt gratitude. Gratitude isn't just saying thank you out of politeness or social conditioning. It's not a spiritual chore you check off your list. Real gratitude is feeling, at a cellular level, that you already have what you desire, that you're already abundant in this present moment. This is key. Gratitude is felt in the present, about the present, but it collapses future possibilities into current reality. Start by connecting with genuine gratitude for what you already have. For the air you breathe, for your beating heart, for a warm bed, for a smile from a stranger, for a glass of clean water. Feel it. Don't just think it. Feel the warmth of appreciation in your chest, and then this is where it gets powerful. Visualize and feel the abundance you want to attract, as if it were already a reality in your life right now, not someday. Now, how does it feel in your body to have that financial freedom? What does your breath feel like? How do you hold your body differently? What would you do today with that abundance? Where would you go? How would you show up differently in the world? Immerse yourself completely in that emotion. Live it in your body, in every cell. See it, hear it, feel it, taste it. Make it so real in your inner world that your brain and body don't know the difference between imagination and reality. Remember, elevated emotions are the magnetic fuel. They're the signal that broadcasts most powerfully into the quantum field. Gratitude, joy, love, excitement, these high-frequency emotions are your greatest manifestation tools. Third pillar, conscious affirmations with genuine feeling. Affirmations work, but not the way most people use them. It's not about repeating words like a robot, hoping they'll magically come true. It's about feeling the truth behind each affirmation, about speaking them with such conviction that they reshape your neural pathways. Try these, but only if you can connect to the feeling behind them. I am a magnet for abundance. Money flows to me with ease and joy. I deserve a full and prosperous life. I am worthy of receiving. The universe is conspiring in my favor. I am the conscious creator of my reality. Repeat them not as an empty mantra, not as a desperate plea, but as a truth you're imprinting on your personal quantum field. As a declaration, as a fact you're reminding yourself of. Say them in the mirror. Say them while placing your hand on your heart. Say them with emotion. Say them until you believe them, until they become your new operating system. You're literally collapsing the possibility of these truths into your experience through sustained attention and elevated emotion. Fourth pillar, inspired action from alignment here. That's what most people miss. Once your interior is aligned, once you've done the inner work of shifting your frequency, you'll start receiving small impulses, intuitions, synchronicities, coincidences that aren't coincidental at all. That's life speaking to you. The quantum field responding to your signal, showing you the next step on the path. Maybe you suddenly think of someone and they call. Maybe you feel drawn to take a different route and you run into an old friend with an opportunity. Maybe you get an idea that excites you for no logical reason. Maybe a book falls off a shelf and it has exactly the information you needed. Act on those signals, however small or illogical they may seem. Don't dismiss them as random. This is the universe having a conversation with you. But here's the key. This action must come from inspiration, not desperation. From alignment, not from lack. You'll feel the difference in your body. Inspired action feels light, exciting, flowing. Desperate action feels heavy, contracted, effortful. Change doesn't come from one big dramatic gesture or a stroke of luck. It comes from the constant accumulation of these small, aligned actions done with intention and coherence over time. These four practices, applied with discipline and constancy, become the bridge between the invisible and the concrete. They're how you move from autopilot to conscious creation. They're how you stop being a passive observer and become an active participant in designing your reality. A structured path for deeper transformation. And if you feel you need a more structured path, a comprehensive step-by-step guide to integrate all of this into your day-to-day life in a supported way, I want to tell you about the path. It's not a thematic course on finances or business strategies. It's not about get-rich-quick schemes or surface-level tactics. It's a profound personal transformation process that accompanies you in stepping out of autopilot and into authentic, empowered living. The path is a continuous journey of personal evolution with deep exercises, daily challenges, and a holistic experience that connects your mindset, your daily routines, and your core identity so you can reorganize the internal foundations that sustain any real, lasting transformation. It's the space where we deepen self-knowledge through practices that reveal your unconscious patterns, where we redefine your most authentic identity beyond the roles and masks you've been wearing, and where together we construct the habits and practices that will allow you to sustain that new reality of abundance and purpose. not just experience it temporarily. We work with your nervous system, your belief structures, your emotional patterns, your energetic field. We address the whole system because lasting change requires systemic transformation. If you feel this calling, say if something in you is saying, yes, this is my next step. The link to the path is in the description below. It's the natural evolution for anyone serious about fully inhabiting themselves and their power. The reality of the journey, embracing the full process, sir. It's important that I'm honest with you, crystal clear. This path of transformation doesn't mean you'll never again feel a limiting thought, or that abundance will magically appear overnight without any challenges, setbacks, or moments of doubt. That would be a lie, and I won't sell you false promises. Falling, doubting, feeling fear, questioning whether this is all real, these are absolutely natural, inevitable parts of the process. In fact, they're proof that you're expanding your comfort zone, that you're rewriting deeply ingrained patterns, that you're growing. Discomfort is the price of expansion. Uncertainty is the birthplace of new possibilities. The key isn't not making mistakes. It's not being perfect in your visualization, or flawless in your affirmations, or maintaining a high vibration every single second. That's impossible and would be an unnecessary, crushing burden that would just add more pressure. True mastery doesn't lie in avoiding the fall, never experiencing a negative emotion, or being spiritually perfect. That's a fantasy that will keep you stuck. True mastery lies in how quickly you notice you've fallen, how compassionately you respond to yourself, how rapidly you get back up, refocus, and realign yourself with your vision. If one day, and this will happen, you find yourself falling into old patterns of scarcity or worry, spiraling into fear or doubt, don't punish yourself, please. Don't add suffering to suffering. Instead, observe it. Take a breath, maybe even laugh at the human condition, and then, with deep compassion for yourself, with the gentleness you'd show a beloved friend, redirect your attention back to abundance, back to possibility, back to your power. It's exactly like learning to ride a bicycle. You fall, you get back on. You wobble, you adjust. You fall again, you get back on again. Each fall isn't failure, it's feedback. It's an opportunity to adjust your balance, to strengthen your muscle of consciousness, to prove to yourself that you can recover. Remember that your subconscious mind has been operating under certain programming for years, even decades. These are patterns inherited from your parents, your culture, your experiences, your traumas. They're deeply grooved into your neural pathways. Dismantling those structures, rewiring those patterns, doesn't happen in a weekend workshop or after reading one book or watching one video. It requires patience, persistent practice, and enormous amounts of self-compassion. This is not a sprint where you push yourself to exhaustion. It's a marathon of coherence, where consistency matters more than intensity. What's truly important is that your dominant intention, your general direction, is always toward abundance, toward expansion, toward fullness, that your overall trajectory is upward, even if the daily graph has valleys. The universe responds to your sustained vibration, your average frequency over time, not to one isolated moment of perfection or one day of maintaining positive thoughts. So be kind to yourself. Honor your very human process. Trust that each small conscious step, each time you catch yourself and redirect, each moment of genuine gratitude, is bringing you closer to that reality you long for. You're rewiring your brain. You're recalibrating your nervous system. You're transforming your electromagnetic field. This is profound biological and energetic work. Give yourself credit for showing up to do it. A symbolic gesture to anchor this transformation, to finish anchoring this truth in your being, to make it real not just conceptually but somatically in your body. I want to invite you to perform a small but powerful symbolic gesture, a gesture that, although it may seem simple, has the power to anchor this new understanding in your mind, heart, and cellular memory. At some point today, or perhaps right now, if you're in a place where you can, find a moment of stillness. Pause this video, put down your phone, close your eyes, take a deep breath, and then bring one of your hands to your chest, to the height of your heart center. Feel your heartbeat. That's life force. That's the pulse of creation itself flowing through you. Feel that vital energy that inhabits you, that animates you, that has been with you since your first breath. Now, with your other hand, gently and slowly draw a small circle in the air in front of you. as if you were gathering something from the space around you, as if you were invoking or collecting the infinite possibilities that exist in the quantum field. This circle symbolizes that field of infinite possibilities we've been exploring together. And by drawing it consciously with intention, you're making a sacred commitment to yourself. The commitment to observe with intention rather than unconsciously, to feel with gratitude rather than lack, to act with inspiration rather than desperation, to collapse abundance into your life through the power of your focused consciousness. As you bring your hand back to your heart, you're integrating that promise, that power that already resides within you, that has always been there waiting for you to remember it, to activate it, to claim it. Feel this. Don't just do it mechanically. Really feel it. This is an emotional anchor, a somatic bookmark, a silent declaration to the universe and to yourself that you're ready. Ready to reclaim your true power as a co-creator. Ready to step out of victim consciousness. Ready to take responsibility for your inner world and therefore your outer reality. Allow this gesture to become your reset button. Whenever you feel lost, scared, disconnected, or doubtful, come back to this. Hand on heart. Circle in the air, breath, remembrance. Let it remind you that the magic isn't out there in some technique or guru or secret knowledge. The magic is in the coherence of your inner world, in the alignment of your thoughts, feelings, and actions. Adopting your new identity as a conscious creator to sustain this change beyond just a temporary peak experience, beyond just feeling good for a few days, it's absolutely crucial that you begin to adopt a new identity at the deepest level. This is the difference between people who transform temporarily and people who transform permanently. Identity. You must stop seeing yourself as someone who is seeking abundance, chasing it, hoping for it, praying for it someday. That identity keeps it perpetually in the future, always just out of reach. Instead, start recognizing yourself as abundance itself, as the embodiment of prosperity, as a walking, breathing expression of infinite potential. You are not someone trying to become a conscious co-creator. You are a conscious co-creator of your reality, right now in this moment. You have been all along. You just didn't know you were doing it. So you were creating unconsciously. You are not hoping to become a magnet for prosperity. You are a magnet for prosperity. It's your natural state when you're aligned with your true nature. You are not searching for the source of your own healing and purpose outside yourself. You are the source. The wellspring is within you. This shift from becoming to being, from seeking to embodying, from hoping to knowing, this is everything. Every time you feel the temptation to slip back into old patterns, to fall into victim consciousness, to blame circumstances or other people or bad luck, catch yourself and remind yourself, I am the observer who collapses possibility. I am the conscious creator of my experience. I am choosing my reality right now with my focus. This isn't arrogance. This isn't spiritual bypassing. This is truth. This is taking full responsibility for your inner world, which is the only thing you can truly control, and recognizing that your inner world creates your outer world. This transformation isn't a destination you arrive at, where you finally make it and never have to grow again. It's a path you walk daily, a practice you maintain, an evolution that continues for as long as you're alive. Each day is a brand new opportunity to choose consciously, to align your energy, to live from that place of purpose and fullness rather than lack and survival. Life will continue presenting you with challenges, unexpected situations, curveballs, tests. That's guaranteed. That's part of the human experience, part of how we grow. But your capacity to navigate those challenges from a place of internal coherence, alignment and power rather than from fear, scarcity, and victimhood, that becomes your greatest asset, your superpower, your freedom. You stop being at the mercy of circumstances and start being the conscious director of your experience, regardless of circumstances. You're not alone. Join the community, and I want you to know, to really take in, you're not alone on this journey. You're not the only one who has felt stuck, who has struggled with scarcity, who has known there was more but couldn't access it. If you feel this message resonates with the deepest part of your soul, if you recognize that nostalgia and that longing for meaning within yourself, if something in this video has touched you, moved you, awakened something in you, then this is your place. You belong here. This channel, this community is dedicated to seekers like you, to people who refuse to settle for a life of quiet desperation, to souls who know they're meant for more and are willing to do the inner work to access it. Here we will continue unveiling the secrets of quantum physics as it applies to consciousness and manifestation. We'll explore neuroscience and how to rewire your brain for abundance. We'll dive deep into mental reprogramming techniques that actually work. We'll bridge ancient wisdom and modern science, all so you can fully inhabit yourself, come home to your true power, and live the life you came here to live. Subscribe right now. Hit that notification bell so you never miss a video. These aren't just informational videos, they're transmission. They're designed to create shifts in your consciousness. Join this growing community of purpose seekers who, like you, are ready to wake up to remember who they really are and to live the reality they know in their bones belongs to them. The next video is already waiting for you, ready to take you deeper into this transformation, to give you more tools, more understanding, more practices to continue unveiling the veil between the life you're living and the life you're meant to live. I'll see you there. Until then, remember, you are not a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean in a drop. You are not separate from the creative force of the universe. You are that force expressing itself as you. Go create consciously. Go manifest intentionally. Go live abundantly. The quantum field is waiting for your signal.